Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's good, YouTube? Y'all know what it is. It's your boy Tank B Chopping, and I'm back with another haircut tutorial. Alright, so jumping straight into this video, guys. We're gonna start with the number 5/8 on top on my detachable clippers. First off, this is my boy Matt. If y'all been watching some of my vlogs, y'all may or may not know him, but he works at the shop with me. He's been working with me for 14 years. We've been working together. So man, he's a funny dude, man. If y'all, like I said, if y'all watched any of my vlogs, y'all know he be saying some stuff. If y'all read some of my comments on my YouTube videos, y'all know he's a little out there. But anyways, back to this haircut video. We're doing a number 5/8 on top, and if you look at the millimeter size, that basically equates to number 5 on the regular clipper. However, these do cut slightly shorter than like guards, so it's basically a little shorter than a number 5. So as y'all can see, I'm just going over the top, going every which way, against the grain, across the grain, and even in some cases I'm actually going with the grain, but that's just because in the front of his hair, in the front of his head, his hair tends to grow up and back. So I just want to make sure I get all that down to that desired length. And once this is done, I'm gonna do a little bit of debulking the sides. I'm gonna go with my number 3 3/4 blade. And that basically, like I said, if you look at the millimeter size, that basically equates to number 4 on the guards. However, it is slightly shorter. You know, like I said in one of my videos before, guys, these blades are a little shorter than guards. So yeah, it's a little shorter than a number 4. So I'm going in with that 3 3/4, and I'm just debulking all this hair. And we are going to be doing a high fade. But we're gonna do a slight drop in the back. Well, it ain't a slight drop. We're gonna be doing a high fade with a drop in the back, so it's gonna be high on the sides and then like a mid in the back. So as y'all can see, I'm just debulking all that area with that 3 3/4. And once I get right above that parietal ridge, all I'm doing is flicking out and floating that clipper up. And the reason why I'm doing that is I don't want to go too much into the head shape and make this look too much like a mohawk. Now I'm taking my 5 zeros and I'm setting in my initial bald guideline. And like I said, we are doing a high fade, so as you can see, I cut off all that C-cup area. I basically went halfway up into his vertical bar. And then since we are doing like a mid in the back, I'm dropping it in the back. Now we're gonna do this all the way around the head, guys. So y'all see how the side looks more like a high fade and the back is more like a mid? That is his special request. So you know, that's what we're doing. And now I'm just doing the same thing to the opposite side and just making sure these two sides match. And now what I'm doing here, guys, I'm going in with my shaver. And I'm just coming up right below that line. And the closer I get to that line, I start to flick out, and I relieve some of that tension, or not some of that tension. I just relieve some of that pressure. That way it makes it a little longer. Not much, but obviously it's gonna make it a lot easier for me to take this line out. Well, really, it shouldn't even leave a line the way that I'm using it. And same thing here, guys. We're gonna do this all the way around the head, and we're coming up right below that line using a slight flick out motion, relieving some pressure as we get closer to that top line. If y'all have this Babyliss shaver, y'all know these shavers are really good. But this boy, man, this dude right here, he has some thick ass hair, man. So sometimes it takes me a while to bald him out. Sometimes it's just, you know, using the razor takes longer on certain clients when they have really thick hair. You know, you got to go over it a couple times. And also, when you use that 5 zeros, to me, it's not as close as a trimmer. So sometimes it takes a little longer to bald that out. So if I would have went over it with a trimmer and then used this, it probably would have made it a little easier. But nonetheless, we got it done. Alright, so now we're going to get into some actual fade work. I'm going in with my wall seniors. I got my lever all the way open, and I'm setting in my next guideline, and I'm going to be coming up about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch, and I'm following that same shape. And normally I come up a little more on my neck. On this section, I come up 3/4 of an inch to 1/2 inch. But since we have a smaller area to work with because he's getting a high fade, I don't want to make this guideline or this section too big because it's going to go too far into the top of the haircut. And like I said, I don't want this haircut to come out too mohawk looking. So, you know, that's why I did it a little smaller. Now I'm just going over it, being real consistent, and y'all know how I do it, guys. When I set in my guideline for my next section, I start doing a bit of down fading. So now I'm going in with my lever halfway closed, and I'm coming up about halfway into that section. I am using a slight flick out motion, and after this step, I'm gonna close my lever a little bit. I'm gonna come right below that, and then I'm gonna close my lever all the way and attack that bottom line. And for the most part, that should fade out this line. And if it doesn't, I can always come back in with my trimmer later on and basically erase that line. But like I said, guys, as y'all can see, for the most part, it is taking out most of this line. So, you know, that's a good thing. I'm going over it a bunch of times, just trying to be real consistent with it, doing some slight lever play. You know what I'm saying? Just doing a little bit of detail work. That way I don't have to do so much detail work at the end of the cut or later on in this haircut.
Damn it, Tito. Another one?
I apologize for the blurriness of this actual footage right here. There we go. Now we're back in focus. Let's go. All right, so now that that is done, I got my number 1 guard on my clipper. My lever is all the way open, and I'm coming up another section. And same thing here, guys. I'm coming up about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch, and I am using more of a flick out, floating the clipper type motion. And the reason why, once again, guys, I don't want to go too far into this haircut. I don't want to follow the shape of the head too much because then it's going to look too round, or it might come up too high and look kind of mohawkish. And like I said, that's something that I don't want to do. So my section is a little smaller, and I am using a flick out motion, guiding that clipper up and out. And then same rules apply here, guys. I start with my lever open, then I'm going to close my lever. I'm actually going to close it all the way, and I'm going to attack that bottom line that you see right there from the from my clipper open and my number 1 open. And for the most part, that should get this out. I am using a slight flick out motion, and I will be adjusting my lever as needed to make sure this blend comes together. And if you do happen to see some dark areas at the bottom of that blend, I'm not too worried about that because I'm going to come back later on with my 1/16 guard and clean that up. So the guard that I'm using now is a number 3 guard. I'm doing a little bit of down fading, just some debulking. You know, my lever is closed, cleaning all that area up around the ridge. Now I got my number 2 guard, lever all the way open. Same thing, just trying to do a little bit of down fading, trying to make sure this blends nice. So my number 2 is open. I'm debulking some of this hair, I'm cleaning all that up, and then I'm gonna close my lever and it's gonna make this guard a number 2 guard, and then I'm just gonna clean all that up also. And then in theory, all I gotta do is go in with my 1.5 guard, and that should basically be the end to my initial steps. And it should be the end to the blend, but obviously, you know, it's not. I'm gonna have to go back and detail and really take this haircut to the next level. So here is my 1.5 guard. Lever is open. Still using that flick out motion and still floating that clipper away. And then I'm going to close my lever and come right below what I just did. And remember, guys, with each of these steps, we're still following that initial shape that we created with that bald guideline. So we're keeping it higher in the front, and then we're dropping it towards the back. Now I'm going in with my number 1 guard, and this is basically detailing the cut a little more. I have my lever all the way open. I'm just attacking some dark areas and some discrepancies that I see. I know this 1.5 will take care of a lot of these areas without basically leaving him creating another line. And then I'm gonna just adjust that lever as needed to get rid of dark areas and to make this fade look a little more blurry. So now I'm going in with that 1/16 guard. I'm starting off with my lever open, which basically makes it a number 1. However, I'm still doing that, just basically retracing it and just checking what I did with that 1. And then I'm gonna close that lever little by little to try to take out this line towards the bottom of that section.
Damn it, Tito. Another one?
And as y'all can see here, it looks like this blend is already coming together. For the most part, I'm just gonna do a little bit of more detail work and we're gonna line them up. So now I'm going in with my 1.5 guard again, guys. And like I said, guys, you just got to do this as much as you feel is needed to make this haircut look good. And you know, I tend to go back and forth between guards. I guard switch from time to time, basically just to clean everything up and give it a nice blurry, nice airbrush looking effect. You know what I'm saying? So, and I believe that's what I'm doing on this cut. You know, I'm trying to make it look good, so I have to go back and detail it. And my barber's eye is not allowing me to move on to the next part of this cut. It's like telling me like, hey bro, you still need to work right here. So that's basically what I was doing there. And as y'all can see, I switched between my 1.5 and my number 1 guard probably about 2 times. And that's just me being, you know, not necessarily cautious, but just going over it, man, just making sure that it looks nice. So now I'm going in with my trimmers. These actual trimmers right here are the Babyliss FX. I got mine custom painted. We got that candy purple. And we just lining them up. We starting off in the middle of his lineup and we're going over to the side that we faded. And we just gonna try to make this lineup as sharp as possible without pushing it back. And as y'all can see, guys, I think this fade's already looking blurry. We're not even 100% complete. I can't even speak right. God, we ain't 100% complete with it, but it's already looking good. Yeah. So now I'm going back in and doing some more detail work, and the reason why is every time I put that lineup in there, guys, it helps me see the fade and see the blend a little better, so I can see discrepancies better, and I go back in and do some more detail work to clean it up and to really give it a more polished, finished look. And this is just me going in with just my lever open, no guard, and just doing some lever play and some corner blending. Now I'm going in with my trimmer and cleaning up that bottom line. So now I'm going over, I'm going to be hitting that lineup with the razor. Basically, I'm going over everything I did with my trimmers, try to get these lines nice and sharp. As y'all can see, guys, I didn't record the rest of the haircut. I just recorded this one side for y'all. But nonetheless, I hope y'all like it. And I didn't show me lining up his beard either. I just really was focused on the haircut for this tutorial. And just to add, just to add this in there, I didn't use any enhancements on his haircut. He don't like enhancements, so we just kept it natural and try to keep it as sharp as possible.
Damn it, Tito. Another one?
Shout out to my boy Tito Beats. Y'all make sure to subscribe to his YouTube channel. I believe it's Tito Beats Productions. Y'all go subscribe to his channel right quick. Alright guys, so as y'all can see, I'm just lining up his front. Well, I'm not lining it up. I'm going over what I lined up with that razor, making these lines a little more crisp and making this haircut just pop a little more. Alright guys, so this is how my boy left the chair. You know, he got out the chair and I felt like the haircut looked good. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this haircut in the comments, guys. If y'all like this haircut, please make sure to smash that like button. Also, if you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe one time for your boy. Y'all stay tuned, man. You know I got some more videos dropping. If y'all haven't done so, please check out the rest of my videos, guys. I appreciate y'all, YouTube. Until next time, let's go.